Now let's actually talk about Epstein more in depth. So, Trump was fighting, bringing people into the Situation Room to say, don't you dare support the discharge petition forcing a vote in the House on the Epstein files. Then he realizes he can't fight it off. House votes, passes it. Everyone votes not for the discharge petition, just enough votes for that happened. But then the actual floor vote for the bill itself got every vote in the House because no one wanted to be on the record voting against that, except for Clay Higgins, a freak who should never be able to live that down. Then it gets to the Senate. The Senate immediately passes it out of the Senate with no changes, and it hits Trump's desk. Trump can't veto that. It would be impossible for him to get away with that. So he signs it. But the DOJ has to release things except, which I guess it's up to the DOJ if it would, there's like certain exceptions. I can't remember the exact ones. Certain exceptions that give enough leeway where they're going to be able to not release anything. It feels that way to me. It feels that way. That's the only reason Trump would have signed it. Oh, if it harms national security, or if someone's name, it would put them at risk because of an active investigation. Trump then announces investigations in Democrats that can then justify hiding everything. That's how it feels to me. Pam Bondi gets confronted, right? Because she came out and said, we got the Epstein files. Let me take you all the way back, and I'm going to show you this bonkers press conference. We got the Epstein files on my desk. Client list. It's going to be crazy. Part 1. Here's the binder. Let's go. Then they released a memo being like, JK, nothing's there. No one's on it. He was just a lone wolf predator. Kash Patel, Dan Margino come out. They do the interview. You can just play one of the things in the interview. They do the interview. Nothing's there. Sorry, it's all over. We totally overhyped this. No new bombshells, no new investigations. They actually closed down the investigations that had been going through the Biden administration. I'll update you on that in a second. They say there's nothing. That's an important note because now they're at Trump's direction launching new investigations into only Democrats. But you told me there was nothing to be investigated. You shut down the investigations. So why are you now saying y'all have basis for new investigations, just not if it involves Trump at all? And that's where we get to this press conference, where Pam Bondi just loses the ability to lie and speak effectively at all, and short circuits. Watch this.
Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
That. Madam Attorney General, the DOJ statement earlier this year saying that the files would not release mentioned the fact that the review of the documents and the evidence did not suggest that any additional investigation of third parties was warranted. What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to.
That's rough, right? What changed? Information. We have new in different info and all types of information that we need to look at. Information. It's kind of like the interesting. It's just interesting. It's interesting.
Has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward, and we will continue to provide maximum transparency under the law.
And information. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Pam. You can tell throughout that whole... Let me play that part one more time and just watch Kash Patel's face, if you'll zoom in on it, Jaden. Look at the comfort level in his face.
That has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are
blinking in Morse code. Help me. My wife or my girlfriend's a country music legend. So, I don't know why you'd be saying that, but maybe. Trump said, I just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. Everyone knows I'm passing the bill. And then I'm not reading this, but this is actually everything he said on the subject. Look at this. What am I supposed to read that? No, thank you. congratulations, or I'm sorry. I didn't read all that, or whatever that meme is. So then you have this clip from Pam Bondi. While we continue through this, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. All it takes is a tap. Check to make sure you are, even if you think you are, and then it helps to algorithmically boost the show, which means this message gets out further.
The issue with the new information that you just indicated, is the department seeking information perhaps from the Epstein estate, because Mr. Blanche did not have that information when he interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell?
Gosh,
what new information? And would you limit the new investigation to just those named persons that the president talked about, or is this a broad, open-ended investigation?
I would refer to the Deputy Attorney General's post that he put out on X, and we're not going to say anything else on that because now it is a pending investigation in the Southern District of New York.
Huh. How convenient. How convenient. You don't need to speak on this anymore because there's now an active pending investigation that you just started against people Trump doesn't like. Not everyone, not anything, just a list of names that he doesn't like, that he wants bad press for. We, on the other hand, are fine with any bad press. Like Chris Murphy got asked a question to this effect. Hey, what if the full release, which is not going to happen, it's becoming clear. What if the full release were to implicate Democrats? Chris goes, so yeah, I want to know about them too.
You mentioned the investigations into Democrats who had been named in the files that were released by the Epstein estate. One of the things the president did say, and again, he signed it overnight, no signing ceremony, no TV cameras, no nothing, but he did put out a Truth Social release where he noted that Democrats have been mentioned, again, in what has been released so far. What if there are more names connected to the Democratic Party that come out as a result of this?
So what? I mean, yeah, I'm sure that there are Democrats in those files. There are Republicans in those files. There are, Wall Street executives who have no political affiliation. What we want is to understand who was involved in.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. He's pretty good. Chris Murphy's a pretty good communicator. The only thing is I don't think he's quite as good as Don Jr.
Epstein hated Trump because he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. Epstein hated Trump because he knew there was something shady going on, but this was like 30 years ago. He didn't know it was young girls. He just knew he was a creep.
He didn't know it was what, Don Jr.? Young girls.
It was young girls. He just knew.
What? He didn't know it was young girls.
Young girls. He just knew he was a creep.
You're a creep. Anyone who says young girls like that's a creep. He didn't know it was young girls. He didn't know it was young girls.
Young girls, he just knew he was a creep. Epstein hated Trump because Trump beat him in a real estate deal. So Epstein was doing everything he could to try to take down Trump. So if he had anything real, it would have come out.
Nervous much? Nervous much, Don Jr.? Look at this. That's a nervous conscience. Watch this, full screen, ready?
Down Trump. So if he had anything real...
It's like he's about to launch into a song. If he had anything real, Jeffrey Epstein was a pervert and he went after young girls. Oh my gosh. Don, you got to work on that. Trump, on a different note, says that woke is dead and illegal.
And you have to do all woke. You'll be back into the woke business. We don't have woke anymore in this country. It's virtually illegal. But you'll have a couple of wokesters, and we don't want to do that.
Woke is illegal. That doesn't sound legal, in all honesty. Now, here's an interesting note that I wanted to circle back to. Raskin wrote a letter revealing some of this. People ask, why didn't we get more releases under Biden about the Epstein files? As we learn more, probably because there were active investigations that the Trump administration shut down. Think about that. Look at CBS. U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York was running an active investigation into Epstein and Maxwell's co-conspirators until January of 2025. What was in January of 2025? Jaden? We got to get a usage of that mic at one point, right? Just so we can say that we did. What was in January 2025? I can't remember.
Trump was now in office.
Yeah, took over in office. There we go. I think that was worth it. Do we think it was worth that? Okay. When prosecutors were directed to transfer the Epstein case files to the Justice Department's headquarters, in what Raskin said was a sudden and dramatic shift in the posture of the investigation. Since then, the investigation into co-conspirators has inexplicably ceased, he said, citing information provided to the Judiciary Committee by attorneys who represent Epstein survivors. Then in July, the Justice Department issued the findings, which was that this was all a big misunderstanding. Because if they had anything real, they would have released it. Or maybe they wouldn't have because the investigations were ongoing. Actually, in that case, not manufactured like how Trump is doing. Which is something I was assuming that a little bit. But that makes a lot of sense. And then they go, wait. Send us we're shutting down the investigation. Send us everything you have to the Justice Department headquarters. Bondi will manage it. And Bondi will tell us there's nothing. Whew. That's no good. That is no good. Now, if you are calling out people for their connections to Jeffrey Epstein, this is a love critique. This is all with love. Make sure you're calling out the correct Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Jasmine Crockett accidentally called out the wrong one, just a Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, but a different guy. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was called out for dropping the names of series of Republicans who took donations from Jeffrey Epstein, but she got the wrong one. It's brutal. It happens, you know. You'd think there would only be one. A physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein donated to the aforementioned Republicans. Hey, brother, change your name. You just got to change your name. You do. I'm sorry, Dr. Epstein. I don't know if I would trust him. Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, I think you're going to have to go get the name changed. You know, there's just some names like that. Hitler is one of them. You could change it to Hitler, and then I think people would be fine. In this case, you got to change it because this is going to keep happening. I'm sure he's gotten some crazy messages. I knew you were still alive. Pull up Epstein real quick. Pull up Epstein. Just a photo of him, not with Trump. I know it's going to be hard to find one of those, but try to find one of him not with Trump and throw it up on the screen. Imagine you go to your doctor and you're like, all right, doc, I need to, it's so crazy. Your name is Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, but obviously he's dead. Why do you look so much? And he just has glasses and one of those little heartbeat monitors on him. And he's like, hi, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. You're like, wait, so you're still alive? And he's like, yeah, it's our secret. Trump didn't actually kill me. He just let me go start a new life. But, Trump's not the smartest guy, so he set me up with a new life with the same name. So now I'm just operating in Massachusetts as Dr. Jeffrey Epstein. So, that's it. He suggested I get plastic surgery and become Stephen Miller, but I thought that would be even more horrible than being me. Which is not true. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what Jeffrey would say. That's today's show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching.